Well, welcome into Warchant.com and Warchant TV, where we've got a special, preseason baseball interview for you here. We've got assistant coach and recruiting coordinator Mike Metcalf here with us here. Talk a little Florida State baseball. The season kicks off February 18th, first pitch in just 2 weeks away. Maybe even closer to that by the time this video is released. But first of all, Coach, how are you doing? How excited are you for the start of the 22 season?
Doing well, Austin. We're excited. Our guys have put in the work in the fall. Have done everything we've asked them to, not only on the field but in the classroom, and taking care of their business. And you get tired of playing each other for so long, so they're excited about playing somebody in a different uniform and getting ready for the season to start and the challenges ahead. With
y'all's home schedule this year, you've got TCU on there, you've got California on there for two weekend home series with y'all. What was kind of the thinking behind that, and how excited are you for have a little kind of a non-conference, that flair to the schedule on that?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. You get a Pac-12 and a Big 12 conference of teams coming in, and change it up a little bit. Kind of help us out in the long run. I think playing those great programs with the RPI and playoff situation and getting into the tournament and different things like that. So we're excited. It's always good to play different teams that have a tradition of excellence, and so we're excited about that.
So really, with you kind of personally, I know your official title is assistant coach and recruiting coordinator, but you do a lot of things day to day with the team. Obviously, working and developing with the team that you already have, not just with recruiting, the future roster. So what kind of would be what all does that encompass? Your day to day responsibilities with the team once the season gets started and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the title of recruiting coordinator it goes along with kind of our whole staff, how everybody just works hand in hand together. Coach Bellinger is the pitching coach, but there's discussions every day. Meat does a great job of getting us together every day and talking about the team in general, the whole team, what works, what doesn't, where we're at with each guy individually and also as a team. And then we go out on the field and everybody's lending their viewpoint on how things are going, both offensively, defensively, and on the mound. So, I wouldn't necessarily say I do one thing or another, but more importantly, just, help continue to provide feedback of what we're all seeing as a group and how we can continue to get better as a staff.
You spent a lot of time in the state of Florida with, coaching as a head coach in high school and various other areas. What was your relationship with Coach Mike Martin Jr. before you joined the staff and before you moved on to the Giants when you were, really coming up in the Florida area there?
Yeah, I mean, the connection of Florida State and Sarasota, where I'm from, with the players in the past that have come up here. So my father had a good deal of conversations with both 11 and Coach Martin Jr. And so, through that, I met Coach Martin Jr. and we stayed in contact when we ran into each other at fields recruiting back when I was at Florida Southern or the junior college state, South Florida State. So, we would conversate when we were together at different events. And then once I got on the pro side and started doing the scouting things for San Francisco Giants, we spoke more and more each year because I was out watching the high school players that were committed here at Florida State. We were at the same events quite often. And so it just kept building. That relationship kept building over the years.
So maybe talk a little bit about your time with the Giants. How fun was that just to be a part of so many championships, and also not only that, but your relation, maybe a little bit about your relationship with Buster Posey during that time, someone that, Florida State fans certainly remember very fondly.
Yeah, I didn't meet Buster too many times. I think I met him once or twice when I was out there for meetings. But I will tell you that his leadership and the way he helped mold that clubhouse, the way I saw that through the 11 years with the Giants was something that I took and want to add to what we're trying to do here, is continue to add to the clubhouse mentality. He's a great leader. He's a great player. Obviously, he's a Florida State guy. But just getting to see him go about his business when I would be out in San Francisco for our meetings and stuff, it was really a really cool thing to see, because everybody sees him hit the home runs and go behind the plate and catch, but what he did for that clubhouse and what he did for those guys, I would venture to say that those years that we won the World Series, not many people thought that we had the best team on the field, player for player. But the way that clubhouse functioned and the way those guys worked together and for one common goal, obviously Buster had a ton to do with that. And I think it's something that's very important when it comes to a baseball team and trying to reach their goals at the end of the year.
Get back to the Florida State team that's going to be taking the field this year. Well, how have the last 2 years gone? In general, how do you think the program has been built since you've joined the staff? And what were your thoughts on just the 2020 and 2021 seasons, and now culminating here with the third year under this current staff?
Yeah, I think unfortunately, obviously in 2020, we got shut down a third of the way through the season. And it became a bunch of unknowns, and those guys had to go off and try to find a place to play in the summer that would allow games to go on when everything was shut down. When they came back for the 21 season, the fall of 2020, it was a fast-paced moving. Everything was changing every day. The regulations we were under, and those guys never really had a chance to get their feet on the ground and settle. I thought once we got to the spring, we got in a routine because we knew what the expectations were for the COVID protocol. We kind of started settling in, but it was just, it felt like it was always something different we were adjusting to. I think once we've gotten into the fall this year, now in the spring, it's slowed down in that regard. Guys can kind of, they can think about the classroom. They can think about baseball. We have a schedule. We're able to function on a daily basis the way the program wants to function. We're not jumping through hoops, and understandably the hoops that were in place, we understood that. But I think it's just made it easier to have the day-to-day routines now that things have gotten a little more under control by the regulations we're playing by with COVID. But I think that it's slowed down for the guys. They're able to, again, focus on the school, focus on the baseball, and we've really enjoyed that. So I think that's been a major change over the last 2 or 3 years. I feel like this is the first year where we're close to normal in regards to our day-to-day routine with the guys. So it's been good to see those guys kind of take a deep breath and go out and do what they're here to do, and that's be great student athletes.
With Parker Messick, and FSU nearly swept the awards, ACC season awards last year. Comment a little bit about just some of the guys you have coming back, and Parker Messick, and I know Matt Nelson departed, but some of the returning group and your thoughts overall.
Yeah, I think the great thing about Parker is he's not looking back at those awards. He's looking forward. How can he get better every day? And that's the sign of a great leader. Right. When he walks in the clubhouse, everybody in that clubhouse, new guys or returners, know what he did last year. He's not living and dying by those awards that he won last year. So it's a great start a great foundation for us this year for the 22 season, because he's not worried about last year. He's worried about getting better for this year. And he's done a great job of that and leading that pitching staff from what I've seen. In regard to the offensive side of things, well, back to pitching. I mean, you've got Bryce Hubbard, who had a great year last year, and he's got the same mindset. He's not worried about what it was. He's not worried about how great he was in the summer. He's trying to figure out how to get better every day. And I think those two guys, the leadership they've got, two different personalities, great young men that have done a good job with that staff. Continuing to move forward. Not worrying about yesterday, but let's worry about today and tomorrow. Offensively with our returners, Reese is back healthy. He's in a good spot mentally, along with obviously Logan Lacey, who had a great year last year. Those guys have done a nice job of taking the young and the new guys and kind of a great bond of the work ethic and how they're going about their business on their own time, not just on practice time. So that's been exciting to watch. And, when you have as big of a group of new players coming in, that's the most important part, is guys that can lead, that have been here already and know the system and know the expectations. So, those guys have done a nice job of doing that.
The freshman class that y'all brought in, how exciting is that to, finally see them kind of immerse themselves within the team and that overall group?
Yeah, no, it's exciting. They're a great group of guys in regards to just human beings, great people. They have great makeup. They do everything that's asked and then some, but they're also athletic and versatile. They do a lot of different things. We've got guys that can play multiple positions on the clay. We've got, a guy like Jaime who can go out and catch and play in the outfield because he's athletic and versatile. So that's really been exciting. They're not just pigeonholed to one position. They can do multiple things. And they've done a great job of buying in to what our veterans are talking about. And they didn't come in with the expectations to be the guys, they came out with the expectation to work every day and help win a national championship. And, you know, a lot of people will say that about their players. I can truthfully say that that's going on every day here.
Taking a look at catcher, I know it's going to be, you know, a challenge replacing Matt last year. He had such a great year, ACC Player of the Year. You know, I know y'all have a trio of guys there right now kind of competing for the starting job. You know, what's kind of been, who do you think might, you know, project to be a starter there? And what do you think of that overall trio?
Yeah, I mean, I don't write the lineup on a daily basis. Coach Martin does. So I'm not into the projecting who's going to be a starter. I will say this, Colton Vincent. Well, first off, it's not easy to replace. You don't replace a Matt Nelson type season that he had offensively behind the plate. You know, that no matter what position he's playing, it's hard to replace that type of offensive output. But I think the group of guys we have, we can put those numbers together in different ways offensively, overall as a lineup. But, you know, behind the plate, Colton Vincent did a great job last year, getting better every day. No nonsense, head down and work. He did a great job of learning our staff and catching our staff every day in the bullpen, you know, in between innings, the times that he came into the games, you know, so he knows our staff. He understands how our staff functions on a mound, each individual, and he's done a great job just getting his knees dirty and getting in there and doing it. Brock Mathis came in at the break. He's a veteran guy. He's caught a lot of different really good arms. He's a vocal leader. Stepped in and was comfortable right away in the clubhouse, on the field, and done a nice job adjusting to our staff and learning how they function. And then, you know, Jaime, you know, he's another guy that he's a young guy that he came in as a catcher. He's doing a good job of working at it. And it's a hard staff to get your feet wet on, you know, as a freshman in college. I mean, we've got a talented staff that all have different looks and different types of pitches. So, you know, every day is a learning day for all of them. And Jaime's learning every day how to function back there with a new group of arms that he's never caught before. So I like the way they're getting after it. I like the daily routine they're in right now. I like the work they're putting in. Who the starter is, I'll let Coach Martin be the one that writes that lineup. But I will tell you that the way they're going about their business, it fits right in with the entire group in the clubhouse and on the field right now.
Don't want to make you write up the lineup card today here. I know y'all still have weeks for the season starts. But, you know, looking at the transfers y'all brought in, you know, what are your thoughts on Alex Terrell and Jordan Carry-On from Florida?
Yeah, good players, talented players, you know, and during the recruiting process, you could tell that they have a passion for the game. They have a love for the game. They've always been talented players. And, you know, a change of scenery is what they felt was in store for them. You know, for us, it was more than anything was using our resources to find out about the type of player and teammate they were. We can go watch video. We've faced them, right? We've played against them. We've matched up against those guys. I saw Jordan play when he was a senior in high school. Well, I guess it would have been junior before everything shut down. So we had a good feeling on what type of actual player they were. But in regards to how would they fit in with the group of guys we were bringing in and that were coming back, and that was a major part of the process for us, was using our resources. People that have coached them, people who played against them, maybe from other teams, people that have worked with them, you know, even digging into some of the stuff when they were in high school with the teachers they had, stuff like that. So a major part of that process was doing the background checks on the makeup on the player and how they would fit in here. And, you know, they've come as advertised. You know, everything we got back feedback-wise from our resources were they're great teammates, they were good kids, they were going to do it right in the classroom, they were going to be respectful and play the game hard in the way, you know, Florida State baseball is expected. And so to this point, you know, it's been great. We haven't played another team yet. We haven't gone through failures, but I do believe the way they present themselves daily in our clubhouse and on the field, we're excited about the future with them here.
I know we're focused on 2022 right now, but I know you want to add kind of, you know, players at every spot, but what would you say is the biggest focus for the 2023 recruiting class at this juncture?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's guys that are athletic, they're versatile, and they're talented, right? Like you win games with talented players, and but you also have to have the right makeup and the right mindset coming in. So I think that I wouldn't say it's a by position addition or subtraction, but more how these players go about their business and the talent they possess. You know, there's a lot of players out there to choose from, right? It's baseball's a great sport, especially in Florida and Georgia in the Southeast, but it's played everywhere. So I think in regards to that 23 class, I think we want to continue to add to the top, continue to get great student athletes that are going to come in and be versatile and help us win championships.